Hey guys, welcome to, I think this is episode 4 of The Bridge. Hope you guys have been doing well. Hope over the last week you've had an opportunity to think about what we talked about last week as far as that moment when we're baptized, and that moment, that love, that crazy love that God has for us and that we're to have for Him. As we come into Easter, I'm thinking back a couple weeks ago, obviously with the quarantine going on. This was kind of early on in it. And I was sitting down one night, and my 2-year-old, Davy, she looked at me, she said, "Daddy, people are crazy." At that moment, I got real nervous, because I didn't know what she was going to say to me, because I said, "Oh Lord, what has she heard me say when I was driving, or waiting in line, and what has she heard me say?" So I braced for impact, and so she proceeds to tell me that her and her mommy went to the grocery store, and there was no salad, and there was no green beans, and there was no toilet paper, and people were just crazy. And so, of course, those of you that met Davy know she's just very personable, to put it politely. And so after she said that, and after I stopped laughing, I learned a couple things from Davy, and that was enlightened by her. First thing I learned from her is that apparently when there's a disaster, we all eat like rabbits and we get salad and green beans. Second thing I learned is it's a respiratory illness. I'm not sure why we're all stocking up on toilet paper, but I'm just not sure. But the most important thing I think that I took away from it, the serious part of what I took away from it, was the fear that had struck the majority of our country. When we think about Easter and we think about what happened on Friday through Sunday, to me, it's all about freedom. We're all aware as Christians that when Christ got on the cross, He freed us from our sins. He freed us from being slaves to our sins, and He freed us from the law. But He also freed us from fear. Unfortunately, fear is a natural part of life. Anxiety is a natural part of life in our culture. But as Christians, I have to wonder, what is it we're afraid of? If you really stop and think for a minute, on Friday, He was crucified. He gave up His spirit. He died and was placed in a tomb. But on Sunday morning, when they got to the tomb, it was empty. If God can raise Himself from the dead, then what are we afraid of? If you step outside at night, those of you that don't live in the city, if you step outside at night and you see all the stars shining, and you stop and think about it and realize God put all those there, then why are we afraid of a test coming up in school or a doctor's report from a visit? I know right now it's tough times in America. It's tough times around the world. This is something that nobody has ever really lived through. And so right now, I think we feel a lot like the disciples did on that Friday, and all the followers. This man that they had been following for 3 years, hanging on His every word, watching Him perform numerous miracles, was gone. And they had to feel lost, afraid. But just like for them, Sunday's coming for us too. So I know right now things seem hard. I hope this Easter season you're able to spend some time with your family. Practice social distancing, but spend time with your family. And just remember that Sunday's coming. And as you go back through the Bible from the beginning to the end, there's people that deal with it. They deal with fear. Moses, David, Jesus. They deal with it, but they put their faith in God and they went through with it anyway. And it all works out. So guys, hope you have a wonderful Easter. And just remember, Sunday's coming.